Today, I'm going to tell you the 10 steps that you must take in order to heal yourself. These are the exact steps that I took to go from bedbound and non-functional to fully healed. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and I help people heal from chronic illness. And so if you're excited about today's video, then please give it a like. And if you would love more videos like this, then I would love to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let's get into it. The 10 steps, the exact 10 steps that I ultimately took after failing and going through many steps that I don't want you to go down. The exact 10 steps that actually got me from A to Z, unhealed to healed. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Okay, so step 1, commit to healing. Okay, so when I say commit to healing, I mean truly in your heart, commit to healing and commit to the process of healing. You have to actually commit to changing because healing is change. It means changing yourself. It means going from someone who isn't to someone who is, and that requires fundamental change, a fundamental shift on all levels of your being. And so you really have to be committed that you are going to go all the way with this. You have made the decision. It is a decision. I am going to heal. Nothing can stop me. It is what I choose, and I'm going to step in and do this. And I know that that requires change. I know that I may not like it. I know the process could be long and hard, just like it is for somebody who is going to go to the gym and lose that 100 pounds. But the commitment is like, I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be a process. I know I'm going to have to change everything about myself in order to do this, but I'm ready and I'm going to do it. So you have to commit 100% to healing, to the process of healing, and to changing into the type of person who is healthy, happy, and whole. And so until you get step 1 down, you cannot move any further. It is the foundation. You must lock that in. Okay, let's assume that you have. Let's move on to step 2. You must accept that this is the process. It's a process, and you must accept realistic, results. So what do I mean by that? Some people make the decision, like, I'm going to heal. Yes, I commit to it. Yes, I'm going to do it. Just like that person who goes to the gym and who is committed to losing 200 pounds. They have to accept that this is a process, and they have to expect and accept realistic results along the way. They're not going to commit to it and 2 or 3 weeks or even 30 days later, look in the mirror and be completely fit, thin, have shed the 200 pounds and look the way that they want to. That is unrealistic. So it is with healing, and many people get discouraged by this. They quit, they give up, they start to give into the old patterns and the old limiting beliefs that say, it doesn't work, I'm not cut out for this, I can't do this, it won't work for me, I try everything and I fail, right? I've been there, I've said them all. The fact is that healing is a process, and you must simply accept that it is a process, and it cannot happen overnight. Yes, miracles do happen. And yes, I have had many of my own divine miracles and interventions along the way. However, healing is simply a process. It is simply a process like the person who wants to lose 200 pounds. They must commit, and then they must accept that this is a process and they aren't going to see the results immediately. You have to accept realistic results, and realistic results with healing means you may do something for 30, 60, 90 days and not see results, but you have to accept that it's a process, and the only way that you can not heal is if you give up, is if you give into the old limiting beliefs. So staying the course with that commitment and then accepting realistic results. You are going to take 2 steps forward. You're going to take 2 steps back. It is not a linear journey, right? It is an up and down battle. you are going to have to change mind, body, heart, and soul. And you cannot do that all overnight in one go. If you could, you would already be healed. All of us would be healed. But change takes time, and healing is a process. So you must accept that you are going to move forward with realistic results, but that if you stay committed to the process, you are going to be the person who sheds that 200 pounds and eventually looks in that mirror and sees the reflection of what you want looking back. It may not happen overnight. It may not even happen in 30, 60, 90 days, but it will happen if you stick to the process and accept the realistic results that are happening along the way. Okay, that is extremely important. I failed at that for so long. I thought something should work. I thought I should see dramatic results. I thought it was going to be an overnight success. I thought I could heal in 30, 60, 90 days. It didn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes improvements come quickly, and sometimes we take steps back, and sometimes it takes a long time to see the results. The results will come, but you must be realistic with them. Step number 3, and I know this is going to sound a lot like step number 1 and 2, but it is completely different, and it is so important. Do not overlook this critical step. It is critical. You must channel a deep-rooted belief that you can heal. This is different than committing to heal, right? This is different than saying, I can and I will, and I'm ready and I'm going to do this, right? Just like the person who stands in the mirror and wants to lose that 200 pounds. The commitment is one thing, but the deep-rooted belief that they can do it, that they can have the body of their dreams, that this can happen for them is completely different. This is on an identity belief level. You need to adopt the belief that this can work for you, that this will work for you. You need to believe that you can heal, that you can do it. Because here's the truth. If you don't believe it, if you don't actually believe it, then you're right. If you think, I can't heal, I can't do this, nothing works for me. If you continue to believe that, you will be right. So you must have a deep-rooted belief, okay, that you can heal. It's so important. And not just that you can heal, but that you can heal 100%. Because some people are like, yeah, I can heal. I think I can heal. Like, I'll get better. I'll improve. I can heal 70, 80%. This was me for the longest time. I was like, yeah, I think I can heal. But I was never like, I believe that I can heal 100%, that 100% healing is available to me in my situation, with my symptoms, with my story, with my experience, with the whole trauma, with everything that I've gone through. You want to believe at some level that you're the sickest, that you're the worst, that you can possibly not do this. I mean, you've built this story up because yes, it's traumatic. Yes, it's horrific. Yes, it's horrible. Yes, your symptoms are real. And yes, you can't imagine really ever healing from that space. But you need to believe deeply that 100% healing is available to you. Because like I said, if you don't believe it, then you will be right. So this step is so important. You cannot miss this step, okay? This step, I'm gonna circle it, is everything. Now I know so far you're saying, like, we haven't gotten to doing anything. That's because all of these steps that I'm giving you first, they may seem like the same thing. They are not, and they are so important. And they are really, truly the steps that most people miss. Don't worry, I will get to the rest, but these steps are critical. So let's move on to step number 4. And that is decide on the specific problem. And I mean specific, okay? I mean very specific, hyper-specific, okay? Micro-specific. This is like such a key word here. Decide on the hyper-specific problem that you are going to solve. And I don't mean forever, indefinitely, I mean first. Because the truth is, in order to heal, you must heal on all 4 quadrants. This is really important in my program. I go through these in extreme detail because you must heal the physical body. You must heal the mental body, the mind. You must heal the emotional body, the heart. And you must heal the soul on the spiritual level. You must heal in all 4 quadrants, okay? You must do healing tactics and healing protocols in all 4 of these areas in order to heal. But you cannot do them all at once. You just cannot. You will be overwhelmed. You will get burnt out. It is not possible. And so when we're healing, what I learned over time through trial and error and through all the years that I stayed stuck and sick was that you must really focus down hyper specifically on one thing first that you are going to solve. This is key. So you cannot solve everything at once. So I want you to think of a problem. Maybe it's not even your worst problem first, but it is a problem that you can solve, that you know needs solving. And by solving it, it will move you forward. Maybe 2%, 3%, 5%, 10%, right? It's not going to get you all the way healed because you need to do the work in all 4 quadrants. But it is a hyper-specific problem that you can solve. And by solving that problem first, it can move you, 2, 3, 5% forward. That is a huge deal in healing chronic illness. Do not think that these mini percentages that you're going to be moving by solving a hyper-specific problem is a waste of your time. It is everything. You are going to move in small increments by solving specific problems along the way. So in my program, I actually lay it out in an actual order because I think I know the order based on what worked for me. So I lay out the hyper-specific problems that you need to follow and solve all the way along. So I really recommend taking my program if you want help. Know that somebody has already walked this and then know with all of their hindsight now and all of their wisdom in what order is the best way to solve these problems, then please sign up for my program. But if you're going to do it yourself, focus in on one hyper-specific problem that you believe that there's an answer to. Okay, so don't focus out on the biggest thing that you really don't know how to solve. Bring it down, focus on one problem that you can solve. Like I can't sleep. I'm not getting good quality sleep. And this is affecting my ability to heal. So if something is negatively affecting your ability to heal, let's just take sleep, then we're going to focus on improving our sleep, getting deep sleep. This is what I would call a hyper-specific problem. No, it's not going to cure your chronic infection. No, it's not going to cure Lyme disease. No, it's not going to cure your autoimmune disease, but it is going to be one hyper-specific problem that you can solve that is going to give you 3 to 5% improvement in your overall condition, because we know that deep sleep and enough sleep is required to heal the bigger problem. So by focusing in on something specific, example could be sleep, right? Probably something foundational to start. That's why I work with the foundations to start, right? It could be your environment. Perhaps you know that you're living in a toxic environment, whether it's a physically toxic environment, right? That you're using the wrong products, you have mold in your home, something very physically specific, or an emotionally toxic home with people who are draining you and bringing you down. Maybe that is a hyper-specific problem that you can solve first, right? Your environment, your physical environment, or your emotional environment. And what you're going to do is you are going to be very hyper-specific on this problem and only this problem. We are not going to try to solve, I need to solve my autoimmune condition and my Lyme and my MS and everything that I'm going through, okay? my neurodegenerative condition, everything. We're not going to solve that right now. We're going to break it down and solve the hyper-specific problem that we feel that we can solve. So it might be a problem with the physical body. It might be an emotional problem. It might be working in the mental quadrant, or it might be in the soul, right? Mind, body, heart, and soul. You can work in any one of these quadrants. And again, there's a lot to do in those quadrants, but you're going to take one problem that you know you have, and you're going to get very specific on solving it. Because since you know you can't solve everything at once, you have to narrow down. You have to focus down. And so that is step number 4. You must decide on the first hyper-specific problem that you will solve, and you have to let the rest go for the moment, not forever, but for the moment. Okay, so step number 5 is you must actually do focused healing work. And I'm going to say a minimum of 2 to 3 hours per day. So 2 to 3 hours a day of dedicated, focused healing work. You cannot think your way into this. Even if you have all the steps so far, even if you have the mindset, even if you have the belief, you still need to take the action. You need to do the work. Anyone can do focused 2 to 3 hours of work a day. And if you can't, go back to step number 1 because you have not committed. You have not made the commitment. So is 2 to 3 hours a day of work the sweet spot? No, it's not. But it is an appropriate amount of time to heal. What is better is 5 to 8 hours per day of focused healing work. Now, for many of you who are at home, who are bedridden, who healing has become a full-time job anyway, let's focus in and do the right things with those 5 to 8 hours that you are sick and you are non-functional and you are not at work anyway. Because like anything, like anybody, we can do too much, especially when it comes to healing, but we can do too little. So let's take the person who wants to lose the 200 pounds. They would do 2 to 3 hours of dedicated healing work a day, meaning going to the gym, walking, doing exercise, right? Prepping their meals. But if this person wanted to take it to the next level, if they wanted to heal faster, then they could spend 5 to 8 hours of day healing. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. What, they should just run themselves into the ground running and going to the gym for 5 to 8 hours a day? No, of course not. We don't want to push past our physical limits. But remember, there are 4 quadrants to healing, just like there are 4 quadrants to solve any problem in, or for this person to lose weight in. So they can work for the rest of the time mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? The physical could be 2 to 3 hours a day. And the rest of the 5 to 8 hours could be healing in the other quadrants around weight, around their beliefs, right? Around their emotions about this. So all of this is work that is going to take that person to their goal faster. Let's drop that example for a minute and take any accomplishment or any goal that you have. Maybe it's to start a business. So if you are going to start a business and you put in 2 to 3 dedicated of focused work on that business per day, you would eventually get there. Now, is that the sweet spot? If you were able to quit your job and put in 5 to 8 hours a day of time, you would get there much faster. But a lot of people can't quit their time. They have to do this on weekends or part-time. They have to do this around other commitments. So if you have to do healing around other commitments, you can still do it. You are going to be putting in every single day doing the work, focused healing work, dedicated time, 2 to 3 hours a day. And if you want to increase your rate or speed of healing, then you're going to be putting in a focused, 5 to 8 hours of focused time a day. It depends on what your other commitments are, what your lifestyle is, what you can commit, what you can physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually do. But remember, there's 4 quadrants, so we're not taxing ourselves necessarily in one area. This isn't to go to the point of burnout, right? Healing, part of that 5 to 8 hours a day might be a dedicated rest time. So I'm not saying this is, going hard and doing something and being active. Part of it will be sitting and meditating. Part of it will be resting, right? There will be a lot of things that you're doing within that 5 to 8 hours that may seem like you're doing nothing at all, but actually you're practicing a dedicated, focused healing. Okay, step 6, you must cut ties and get rid of everything in your life, or as many things as you can. Things, to-do lists, things that don't matter, people, things that are taking your time, things that are taking your energy. You must cut things from your life that are massive energy sucks. Anything that keeps you drained, anything that keeps you stuck, or that keeps you sick. If you know something that is keeping something that you're doing or someone that you're around, maybe it is some lifestyle thing that you're doing, maybe it's scrolling on your phone, maybe it's eating the wrong foods. I don't know what it is, but whatever bad habits or whatever energy drains, energy sucks, anything that is really keeping you stuck or sick, you must eliminate it from your life. So step 6 is about elimination, okay? It is getting rid of the things that are keeping you sick and stuck, and you must be ruthless about this. You're not going to get them all. Of course you're not. But if you know 2 or 3 big things that every day are bothering you, triggering you, draining you, keeping you stuck, keeping you sick, making you upset, making you feel awful, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, if it is draining your energy in any of these 4 areas, like a big chunk, you notice, it's a problem for you, then you must eliminate it. These must be eliminated because we are going to replace them with our focused, dedicated healing time. You cannot heal unless you really focus. And if you are being drained in so many different areas of your life, in a couple of big ones, we need to eliminate those. I don't know what those are for you, but you will know because every day it will make you feel either physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually bad. It will drain or suck your energy in one of those 4 categories continually. And you must be aware of that, find that, and eliminate it. We now have time and energy back in which to put towards your change, your recovery, your well-being. And so that is absolutely key. Let's move on to step 7. This is going back to our hyper-specific problem. We are going to take each hyper-specific problem that you identify, and you may have 2 or 3 big ones right up front that you know need improving, that you know if you improve them, it will help your overall condition. So you're going to choose one, right? You've already decided on one. Now here's the key. And sometimes you can focus on 2 or 3 depending on how big or small they are. You will know. If it's something that doesn't take that much time at all, then you can work with a couple at the same time. But really you cannot spread yourself and try to focus on everything at once. That is where you fall down. So 1 to 3 problems, I like to say, we're taking 1 to 3 at a time, depending on how big they are. And now we are taking action, and we take action for 30 to 90 days, every single day, up to 90 days, without fail, and without stopping, and without changing anything or tweaking anything. So this is where we have done the research and we identify our solution, okay? We've identified a solution to our problem. We make a plan and now we execute it in step 7. We execute a hyper-specific solution to the hyper-specific problem. And we execute and we work on it for 30 to 90 days. before, and this is key, before moving on to a new problem, or before determining that that was the wrong solution and you need to try another solution to the problem. Step 7 is truly all about execution. And in most cases, we want to go up to 90 days with a protocol without determining or without deciding or interpreting or trying to determine it or change it or tweak it. We truly need to become scientists here and allow ourselves to figure out if it actually works or not. And what we're looking for in this 30, 60, 90-day period is we're looking to see, does it make me worse? Did I stay the same? Or did I see improvement? And improvement, remember, can be even up to 1% improvement. Did I see improvement? That is the main thing we want to know. No matter how small, it could be a 1% improvement, it could be a 20% improvement. But did I see improvement from this change that I'm making? Did this solution address the problem that I am trying to solve? And we give it 30, 60, 90 days to assess, because we need to properly assess, is this the right solution? And we'll move on to that a little later in these steps. But for now, step 7 is all about execution. It's not about evaluation. We are not evaluating here. I will come to evaluation, but this is all about execution. We are executing. We're doing the focused work for a period of 30 to 90 days before any tweaks or before evaluation. And certainly before applying a new solution or moving on to an entirely new problem. This is what I did for too long. I was like, I'm frustrated with this problem, I'm gonna jump to this problem. I moved from problem to problem without finding this solution to that problem first. Or I changed tactics before I really gave it a chance to know whether that was the answer or that was a partial solution to the problem. Okay, step number 8 is build momentum. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good, right? So good enough is good enough. Every day you are going to take action. So in step number 7, you started executing. And now step number 8 is where we build momentum. Okay, we're building our momentum, meaning we are taking action every single day and we're building up. So if part of your hyper-specific solution to a problem is walking, then you might start 5 minutes a day, working up to 10 minutes a day, working up to 20 minutes a day, meaning we're taking action, but we're building momentum along the way. So you're increasing what you can do as you go. You're not pushing beyond your limits, but you're slowly building up momentum in a forward direction. So for walking example, at the beginning, you might only be walking 5 minutes a day. And at the end of the 90 days, you might be walking a half an hour or 45 minutes a day, depending on where you've started from, right? So we're building momentum with this as we go. We don't expect to be perfect day 1. We need to start and we need to execute. But we're building up our capacity and our momentum forward as we go. Okay, this doesn't only apply to the one specific problem that you're solving in that 30 to 90 day period. It also, and we'll get to this once we get to the step on evaluation, it also means building momentum in your life. We're building momentum. Eventually, we're going to find the things that work for us and we're going to bring them forward as we bring in new hyper specific problems to solve. And as we're working on that protocol for the 30 to 90 days, that new one, we are taking something from the old problem that we solved forward. So now we're walking every day and we're doing this new protocol, right? So we're bringing what works forward as we continue to solve new problems. And as we're doing this, we're growing an overall protocol, right, that's working and supporting us as we move forward. It's all about building forward momentum. So we're growing our capacity, and we're growing our endurance, and we're growing the amount of work we're doing, and we're growing everything as we move forward. So it's all about building momentum as you go, continuing this forward movement. It's not like I start something, this is how much I do on day 1. It's the same amount that I do on day 90, and then I stop it and I try something else, right? No, it's like, this is how much I do on day 1. By day 90, my capacity is even stronger for it. I'm doing more, I'm building more. And as I go and start this new thing, I am bringing some of this with me. So it's always about growing and expanding, and we're building forward momentum. So we are never going to be perfect. And some days we're going to fall in some areas, and that's okay. Falling down or not getting it right or having to take steps back because of a certain situation or a certain way that you feel on a certain day, that is fine, as long as overall, in the overall grand scheme of things, we're building forward momentum. Right? So even though you may have to pull back, or we're not going to be perfect on certain days, or we maybe missed it on one day, or something came up and we can't, whatever. Overall, we are literally building positive forward momentum. We are making this snowball grow and grow in the right direction, even if we're not perfect. And even if we're just, some days just getting it good enough, that's fine. But overall, the momentum is that we're improving and we're growing and expanding, and we're making a difference, a positive difference as we build into these things. So we're not going to be skipping a single day. Even if we have to do just the bare minimum, we're still going to do it. We're still going to make an attempt, right? We can't be skipping days and going back to square one. We're building momentum. Very important in healing. Because just like that person who goes to the gym, maybe they go to the gym for 28 days in a row or 30 days in a row, and then they take 3-4 days off because something happened in their life. After that 3 to 4 days off, it gets incredibly difficult to go back. Psychologically, it's more difficult. They feel like they're starting from scratch again. And the longer this goes on, the harder it is to get back into it, because they've lost their momentum. So even if you can't go to the gym, or you're sick, or something comes up, they would be better off to even go to the gym for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or do some form of exercise at home quickly, even if it's not perfect, because they don't lose the momentum that way, right? We don't want to lose momentum. Okay, so moving on to step 9. Step 9 is all about evaluation. This is after the 30 to 90 day period, where you are really trying to focus on solving a specific problem with a very specific protocol or solution. Now we do our self-reflection. Now we can do our research. Now we can do an honest evaluation. And what we're looking for in this honest evaluation is, okay, I've done this for 90 days now. I took these specific steps for 90 days to specifically say, improve my sleep. So what we're looking for is one of 3 answers. What I did not work at all, and in fact, it made me worse. Okay, that's very unlikely. Could be the case. Number 2, I haven't noticed any difference. I've been doing all of these things very specifically to solve my problem of sleep, and my sleep is not any better at all. It hasn't improved. It's the same. Or you're going to say, yes, I've noticed improvements in the duration or the quality or the length or whatever of my sleep. I have seen improvements. And if you've seen improvements, you have to be honest with yourself. Is it a 1% improvement? Is it a 5% improvement? Is it a 10% improvement? Is it significant improvement or just minor improvement? And we really want to figure out, okay, is this minor improvement enough now? Right? Maybe I was only sleeping 3 hours a night and now I'm sleeping 6 hours a night. I would call that a massive success, right? You've increased your sleep by 50%. That's an amazing result. So you are going to want to continue to do whatever's working in that hyper-specific solution or protocol that you have going on. Now, can you tweak it here to improve it even more? Maybe you've only gotten 10% better. Maybe you've improved. You're sleeping now 4 to 6 hours a night, but you're still having a lot of problems and you're still waking up extremely tired. Okay, well then, yes, this is working. Let's evaluate what is working. Now, let's do some more research. Can we add to this? Can we tweak it more? Can we change it? So based on the results that you get, you either keep doing what you're doing and we're continuing to build forward momentum with it, and we will keep that in our protocol, even as we solve other specific problems. Or we need to, before we move on to a new problem that we also want to solve, we still know that we haven't solved this problem quite enough yet. So we need to go back to the drawing board, do our research, and change or tweak the solution, right? The protocol, until we get good enough results where we feel like our sleep is now locked in. We now are getting a really good night's sleep every night, and this is going to help improve our overall condition. The things that we're doing are actually working. So if you just haven't gotten good enough results, you're going to keep some of the things and you're going to go back and change it or tweak it. If you've gotten 0 results or it's made you worse, then it doesn't mean that that problem can't be solved. That's what I would do. I'd be like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to worry about sleep anymore. I have to move on to a new problem. No, we're sticking on this problem until we solve it, because there is a solution and you are going to find it. So now you're going to try some new things. You're going to bring some new things in. You're going to change your protocol completely, and you're going to do it over again. I know this is crazy, for another 30, 60, 90 days before you assess and evaluate again, because you cannot move forward with a new hyper-specific problem until you solve this one, okay? Until you're able to get, say, for instance, good sleep. So we're going to continue and stick on this problem until we have good enough results where we feel like, okay, I'm okay in this area. I feel like my sleep has improved enough that I can now move on to a new problem. And we don't move on to new problems that we want to solve until we have found the right solution for the current problem that we are trying to solve. So we stick on this problem until we solve it. As small and minor as the problem is, and as many other problems as you have over here that you want to get to, no, we are going to be very specific, and we're not moving on until we solve at least the problem of, say, sleep, if that's the first problem that you set out to solve. Now, again, in my program, I line this up in a way that makes it easy. We're solving, I think, the problems in order that they need to be solved in. We're working with the nervous system first. We're laying the foundations of health. Second, we're going into advanced healing protocols, and then we're moving on to the mind, and then we're going into the emotions, and then we're doing identity work. So I feel like I've laid this out in a way with very specific protocols that will help you to become your own healer, actually, to know, I'm not telling you what to do. I am helping you in this program become your own healer, so you know how to do this. So if you need help with that, again, you can check the link below, but you can also do this yourself. So let's move on to step number 10, the last step. Okay, and this is celebrate your wins. And not only celebrate your wins, but celebrate your effort, okay? Celebrate the fact that you're human, that you're trying, that you're doing the work, and love yourself. Love yourself no matter what. We aren't only gonna love ourselves if we get results or if we make improvements. We're gonna love ourselves and celebrate our wins, but we're also going to celebrate our efforts and even our losses, okay? Because we love ourselves no matter what. And we have to start talking to ourselves kindly, with compassion, with love, and like an encouraging friend would talk to you. If you're not speaking to yourself the way your most compassionate friend, the way your mother would when you were a small child, or the way God would speak to you, then it doesn't matter what results you are or aren't getting, it's not going to work. Everything has to be based around self-love, meaning we are kind and compassionate to ourselves if we're having an off day. We're kind and compassionate to ourselves if all of our protocols fail. We're kind and compassionate to ourselves even when we don't think we can figure it out. We're kind and compassionate to ourselves, and we celebrate ourselves when we do get success. We acknowledge this. We keep encouraging ourselves, right? We say, you can do it. Get up. Keep going. You can do this. I believe in you. I love you. So you're there for yourself when you're down, and you're there for yourself when you're up. Really, you're loving yourself through this. You're talking to yourself as your most encouraging cheerleader, and also your most empathetic ear, and also, your coach and someone who's spurring you on. You're literally doing all of it. You're telling yourself to get up when you're down, but you're also being there for yourself when you're having an off day or you're feeling bad. You're literally being all of it for yourself. You're loving yourself no matter what the results, no matter what happens, because you are you, because you're trying, because you're enough just the way you are, because you're worthy. You're worthy of your own self-love. If you are not speaking to yourself the way God would be speaking to you, then you have to focus on that, because you will never get through the healing journey without the deep self-love it takes to get there. Because like I said, healing is a process. It's going to be up, it's going to be down, it's going to be back, it's going to be hard. You're going to feel like you're failing most and a lot of the time. You have to be able to love yourself through that, and to pick yourself up and to keep going with love, not with shame, not with guilt, not with pushing yourself or telling yourself to just get over it. No. You are truly loving yourself at each moment in the process along the way, because that is what it takes to heal, right? Self-love. And then we circle back to step one. So, right, we've evaluated, we've loved ourselves no matter what's happened. And now, after the evaluation, after the self-love and compassion and kind talk, we now circle back to this step one in this process, and we commit to healing all over again, okay? And now we accept the process and the realistic results that we must get, and we go back to our deep-rooted belief every time. And then we decide on a new hyper-specific problem that we're gonna fix next. And then we do the 2 to 3 hours or 5 to 8 hours of focused, dedicated healing work a day on that specific problem. And then we eliminate anything that's sucking all of our energy and time and taking our energy away from moving forward in our life and doing the healing work, right? And then we take our new problem and we execute. We execute for the 30 to 90 days, and we build new forward momentum. And then when we get to the end of the 90 days, we evaluate, we see what's working, and we stick on the problem, either tweaking or changing or coming up with new solutions until we get the results that have moved us forward in that one area and with that one problem that we are trying to solve. We love ourselves no matter the result, and then we start back at the beginning again. And we commit to healing all over again, right? This goes on and on. This is a circle. So I know that this has been a long video, and if you receive value from it, please give it a like. It really helps this video be sent out to more people so that they can also learn the steps to healing. If you want more help with healing and you need to start at the beginning, I have a free program called Ground Zero that takes you when you are in crisis mode, when you are in survival mode, and you just need to get out of it before you can even really do the steps that I've mentioned here. From there, we move on to the foundations of healing and into my paid program. If you want to access either of these, I'll leave the links below. I really want to thank you for spending your valuable time with me today, and I am wishing you all healing. And if you want to learn more about how to actually heal yourself, then watch this video here. It's really important in understanding how to do this and how to heal. I am sending you all my love, and I will see you in the next video.